more about our tipping point. So Jason, handing over the floor to you.
Okay, hello everyone. Now is the Q&A session. So for this session, I will answer the question relevant to Vex competition, and there may be more question about Vex product or sales. So I will leave Andy to answer it. So the first question is from Holly. Is Crystal slide available after the Zoom meeting? The answer is yes. All the videos will be available. Well, we will post on the YouTube Vex AP channel. So we will share the link after this Q&A session. Share the link in the chat window. Okay. So the second question is from Sam. How can you do alliance competition remotely? So the answer is that start from this season, the LRT live remote tournament is competed by 1vs1 format. So there is no alliance. Anymore. And I have also mentioned the scoring format in the video just now. So you should be more clear now. And the third question is from Henry. So this question is about the product. He is hoping to form a new Vex teams soon and want to know how long will it take for receiving their orders. So Andy may answer this question later after my session. And the fourth question is from Henry too. So is for virtual competition, are these played by using virtual robot or actual robot? So actually, I need to explain that there are two ways. So one way, two ways for remote. So one way is virtual competition. That is the virtual skills, which will be introduced later by Jason's video. That is for by using the virtual robot. And the other way is live remote competition or live remote skills. And for this competition is by the actual robot, actual team members. They played a robot on their actual field, okay, by connect to the remote system, okay. And for the question 5 is from Sam. It's about SG2. Is this horizontal expansion checked at the robot check-in? The answer is also yes. There's a robot inspection process before the match. That is stated in the robot rules R3. So robot must pass inspection. So during the inspection, all the dimension along one and tall and including the expansion rules, expansion dimensions will be checked. So next is the question from Holly. So can you confirm no context system anymore? So we can see the details in robot rules 6. That's on the game rule page 34. So I will read it out. It says some more clear details. So in the item A, so product from the Cortex, Vex Pro, IQ, Vex Go, 123, or Vex Robotics by Hexbug product 9 cannot be used for robotics construction. So the answer is no, yes. So no Cortex from this season. Okay, so that's the current questions. So except that, I still have some important reminders for you. So that's relevant to the game menu. So first is the scoring note. So on the page 17, it's reminded that for the rims, for the scoring ring, it cannot contact a robot. But for current game rule, it didn't mention by which alliance. So for example, if this, let me see, if this, there's a red mobile goal and there's a rim in the base, right? And if the mobile goal is contacted by a blue robot, so for current definition, this ring is not scored 2, right? Because no matter it's a blue robot or a red robot, if just contact the ring is not scored, okay? And the other I need to remember that is that also for the scoring note, it just mentioned that the mobile goal base need to contact the Alliance home zone for scoring, right? But it also didn't mention that if it need to be not to be contacted by the robot. So for example, if a blue or red robot is contacting this mobile goal, so for current definition, this mobile goal is also scored for the red alliance. Yes. And another I need to remind that is for the, let me see. It's for the SG6. SG6 mentioned that rims on the Alliance mobile goal are safe, which means if it's a red Alliance mobile goal, all the rims that scored in this or on this goal cannot be removed by a opponent robot directly or indirectly. But all the rims on the neutral mobile goal are not safe. So rims on the Alliance mobile goal scored is safe, but the rims on this neutral mobile goal is not safe. So any Alliance can descore it, right? Okay, that's all my questions now. So I will turn it over to Andy. Okay.
Great. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Jason. I do want to address the question from Henry about acquiring the components. Obviously, due to COVID, there's going to be variances, possible delays that we cannot control, but you're looking at about 1 week from the time that the order is placed and confirmed payment to when you can actually have the goods in your country. Now, there may be some regional differences in each country about different documentations or different reports that you may need, but please contact us at ap-sales@vex.com and we'll answer your needs. So moving on to the last part, the most exciting part of today, we have something from Jason McKenna. He's our global educational strategy director. And what we want to share from Jason is going to be his presentation about Vex VR Skills. And it's going to be about 18 minutes long. So I'll play that for you right now. And if, again, there's any questions, please type them into the chat box and we will address them in the chat box. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jason McKenna. Welcome to the Vex Classroom, where today it's going to be my pleasure to share with you VR skills, specifically VR skills for this year's Vex Robotics Championship. We're so excited for you to use VR skills to learn more coding for this year's competition as a way to learn the game, as a way to help strategize about the game. We feel it's going to be a really valuable addition to what you're doing with this year's competition. And if you're looking for more ways to incorporate coding in your classroom, or looking for more ways to have fun, engaging ways to teach computer science in your classroom, we feel like this is also a great way for you to be able to do that. You'll notice on the board behind me, I have a few helpful links. vrskills.vex.com. I'm going to show you that here in a moment. That's essentially our getting started page. So if you have someone that's heard about VR skills, but they're not quite sure how they can get started with it, you can just point them to that page and it walks you through everything that you need to know to go ahead and get started with virtual skills. Secondly, we have our two URLs. We created a web-based version of VexCode V5 and also VexCode IQ for virtual skills. Today, we're going to be talking about codev5.vex.com. And finally, we've created lessons that you can use this with your competition team, or once again, if you use this in your classroom, you can find those lessons at education.vex.com, and I'll show those off to you also here in a moment. So you can see here we have the physical Moby robot, this year's hero bot for the VRC game. All the things that we talk about with coding with the virtual robot can be carried over to the physical robot. All the commands are the same. So this is really a great way for you to learn how to code a robot in this year's game. And not only that, because you are using this year's game, if you're not using the hero bot, a lot of the strategies that we have here can be applied to the game. I have a great quote here that I'm going to show you that kind of captures all of that. This is from a user that's already started using VR Skills, and you can see what he says. This is a robotics mentor here in the US talking about how the introduction of VR Skills is really going to change how he organizes and uses his team. Chris has really captured here how we envision VR Skills being utilized with the team, where kids can start planning, developing and testing the strategy and coding right away with their robot and with this year's game. And then once the robot is operational, they can obviously rewrite it from the mechanics of Moby, the physical hero bot, to whatever robot that they have and then be able to apply it. So that quote there, once again, really kind of captures how we see VR Skills being utilized by you, and we can't wait to see you do that, whether it's, you know, in your after-school club or activity or actually in the classroom. So let's go and take a look at vrskills.vex.com right now so we can see how we can actually get started with it. Okay, so the first thing that you'll see over here, number one, is you have to register your team. Okay, so you have to register your team for this year's competition season. And after you register your team, you will get a virtual skills key. So let me go ahead and open that up. This knowledge-based article walks you through that process and lets you know what a virtual skills key actually is. So you can see here, I'm going to log into robot events. I'm going to put in my information. I'm going to select my teams. And when I select my teams, now I'm going to have this new column that's going to talk about virtual skills and give me that virtual skills number. That then, when I launch virtual skills at codev5.vex.com, you can see here where I can put in my team number and my actual virtual skills key. Now, if I don't have a virtual skills key located right there, that's because I have to once again renew my registration. So that's how you get started with virtual skills. Make sure that your team is registered, then you get your virtual skills key, then you can just simply launch codev5.vex.com. Now, one note is you have to make sure you have Chrome, a Chrome browser, in order to use this. If you're trying to use Safari or something like that, this is not going to work. So you want to be able to make sure you use a Chrome browser to be able to do that. Now, we have some other sections in our knowledge base to help you get started. I'll go ahead and show that to you right now. So if you do want to know, like, you know, minimum computer requirements, you can see we have a knowledge-based article on that right here that'll let you know what the minimum requirements are in order to be able to get started. An overview of virtual skills, so using a starting configuration, understanding match loads, identifying location details. We have great articles on all of that. How to load and save projects. Teacher resources, I'll get into more detail about that when I talk about the educational resources, but all that is located there. So as you can see in this tab, I went ahead and I've already launched VR Skills in codev5.vex.com. Let me just go ahead and make this the total screen size here. I'm going to go ahead and close up the blocks on the left so you can see everything on here, okay? And you can see here, this mimics what you're actually doing in the game. So first I have to select a starting configuration, and I can also choose different preloads. Now, I've opened up an example project. We have some example projects with this to get started. You can see here that wants my starting position to be D, facing northwest towards the closest ring cluster. So I'm going to select D down here. And then this is my closest ring cluster here. I don't have any preloads to start. As you see here, preload 0 rings. So I'm just going to go and I'm going to confirm that. Okay. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to run my project just by selecting play right here. See my robot move forward. I'm going to lower the forks in the robot. I'm going to collect some rings, raise the forks up. I'm going to drop the rings off in the goal. Now I'm going to pick up the goal. and I'm going to take the goal and drop it off into my Alliance home zone. You can see here I've scored 22 points. You can see my timer running. I can go and I can stop it right there. The submit score you can see is now grayed out. We're going to build that functionality over the upcoming weeks and months, so stay tuned for that, okay? But I'm going to go ahead and close this up. I'm going to run this project again. I'm going to select reset. I'm going to select a different camera angle this time. There we go there. You'll notice here, I'll just turn my camera. My team number is located right there. It goes on the license plate as my robot. That's a really cool feature. One other thing to note here, since I got this zoomed in look, is that the HeroBot Mobi does not have sensors on it. So if you go to builds.vex.com and look at the build instructions for it, it's not going to include sensors. We did include the sensors on the virtual robot, and throughout our lessons, we talk about how to actually use those sensors. One of them being the GPS sensor, which you see right there. Let me go ahead and play it. You can see here, I'm going to approach the rings. I'm going to lower my forks. I'm going to pick up the rings, back up, drop them off in the goal, lower my forks again, lift them, take it into the Alliance home zone, and then drop it off there again. Excellent. Okay. A lot of really nice functionality that we've built into there. Obviously, if I want to go back and change my starting configuration, I can do that by selecting this right there. Match loads. Okay. So if I want to add rings onto the screen, onto the game field as I'm running it, I can go and I can do that. So we've tried to mimic how you can do that in the game. So you can see here, I can put rings in the upper right-hand corner over here. As the robot is moving, it'll not allow me to put certain match loads where the robot currently is, okay? But all these different aspects of gameplay and game strategy, I can actually do here in the virtual game in VR Skills itself. So we're really, really happy with how this came out and all the different things, once again, that you could do with it. We have a couple different example programs, as I mentioned to you earlier, that you can use with it. Things that you're used to in Vex Code, like getting help for blocks and watching tutorial videos, all of that is located in there. And if you have any problems at all while you are using VR Skills, please use the feedback button in the software that comes directly to us. That allows us to capture information about the type of computer that you're using, your frame rate that you're using. You can also put in your email so we can contact you directly, but that's the best way to provide us with the feedback. So if there is a problem, there is a bug, we can identify, we can troubleshoot it and go from there. So vrskills.vex.com to get started. Code v5.vex.com to allow you to actually participate in the game as long as you have a virtual skills key. And once again, your team is registered for this year. Let's go ahead and talk about the lessons that you can utilize at education.vex.com. So I'm going to go back to my computer view now and show that to you. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put in education.vex.com and I'll scroll down. I'll go to Vex V5, and you'll see right here I have VRC Virtual Skills. All right. We have 6 different lessons that you can utilize, once again, no matter where you are, if you're in a classroom or you're with your competition teams. This is all student self-facing. So to Chris's point in the quote that I shared with you earlier, his students, his team can get in right now. Everything that they need for them is right here. And all these lessons are laid out the same way. You have an introduction to start where the students can go in and begin and see what they're going to learn in the lesson. This lesson talks about picking up and moving a mobile goal into the Alliance home zone. Then we get to the exploration section. This is where they'll actually learn what they're going to do. This video introduces what they're going to learn. And then this first video actually goes through and breaks down the task for the students. You can see there's captions underneath here that the students can follow along with, but I'll go ahead and scroll a little bit forward. You can see what's going on here in my engineering notebook. I'm identifying the behaviors that I want my robot to do, and I'm telestrating on the field what the robot will actually be doing. So you can see here, I'm drawing where the robot's going to start, the mobile goal it's going to pick up, where it's going to go, what the Alliance home zone. I'm just using my Apple Pencil to do all of that. And all those behaviors are being logged in my engineering notebook. Okay, find another picture of it for you here so that you can see that, and you can see all the, there we go, all the behaviors that you're going to utilize as you're going through and doing the game itself. So the first thing that we do is we identify the behaviors that you're going to do. After we do that, now we can go ahead and build the project. We show you the starting configuration that you're going to need. We give you the project as a screenshot, and then we also give it to you as an example project if you just want to download it from the software. Next, the next video, I actually run the project and talk about what's actually going on in the code as the project is running. As you can see here, I'm selecting my starting configuration. Now I'm going to start playing the project. As you can see here, running through it. All that information is located right there for you. Now that you know all of that, you understand the behaviors of what we did, now you can test your skills with the mini challenge right here. Okay, students can go through, they can see what this should look like if they've coded it correctly, showing you what the robot should do. So now we did pick up this yellow mobile goal. Now we're gonna go pick up this blue one. So applying what you learned in a slightly different context. If you're doing this in the classroom, you want to do more formative assessment, you have these check your understanding questions right here that students can do. These are Google Docs, so you can edit them. If you want to add questions to that, please feel free to go ahead and do it. But then once again, this is a great way for you to learn what to do. Also, there are questions in here about like what the score would be if the students did something else. This is a great way to make sure that your students actually understand the game, okay? It's a great way to check and make sure of that. Then we have extension activities. So we have another coding activity if you want to do more coding. We have a math activity if you want to dive into some more math. These are also Google Docs. So if you want to adjust this, you can, okay? This is a great one here with Moby, the hero bot. There's a gear train right here that operates the forks that raise and lower so I can, pick up the rings or pick up a mobile goal. Because of the gear train, I just can't say, spin 90 degrees and expect the arms themselves to spin 90 degrees. Instead, because of the gear train, I have to do some math in order to determine exactly what I'll put in as an input to make the forks move to the exact place I want them to move. We walk you through all that math right here with this particular extension activity. So the math is related to the game itself. It's not in a vacuum. Instead, it's directly related to the game itself. And then remember, I talked about all the different sensors that we did put on the HeroBot Moby. You can see here, in the lesson, we walk through how you can actually utilize the sensors here. Each of the lessons has an exploration of a sensor located inside of it. And the last lesson, lesson 6, is all devoted, as you can see right here, to the actual GPS sensor itself. So if I go to the exploration here, as I'm breaking down the task here, okay, you can see now I'm doing this all over a coordinate grid here because we're talking about how you can actually code with the GPS sensor. A really fun lesson of learning about how you can utilize a GPS sensor to be able to track where your robot is going. So a lot of great lessons there, all student facing, so your competition team can get started on it right away. And also some supports that we've put in so that you can use it in your classroom if you're using it that way. But there's actually more supports located in the teacher's portal, which I'm going to show you right now. So if I go back to virtual skills and I select teacher's portal, okay, this video right here walks you through the actual structure of the lessons themselves. So everything I talked about how the lessons are done are located here. The main thing that I talk about in that video is that we provide all of the direct instruction. So you don't have to worry about, well, how do I actually break this down and how would I actually code the forks to move and how would I code the robot to balance on the platform? We show you how to do all of that so you don't have to figure that out on your own. This frees you up to be a facilitator to help you troubleshoot, to give your students assistance, to help give them feedback, to help students build self-efficacy, all those great things that you want to do either as a mentor or as a classroom teacher. We talk about how you can do that because we do all the direct instruction for you in the videos that I've previously shown you. Now, if you're not sure what to do as a facilitator, no problem, because we have another video right here that talks about that, what you can actually do as a facilitator. Okay, this video here, I go through and I talk about all that stuff there. So We talk about the structure of the lessons, and then I get into the pedagogy here. And we have more resources located below. Great article here about getting started with virtual skills. If you're a rookie team or a veteran team, you probably have different needs. So we have a knowledge-based article that addresses both of those needs right here for you, okay? Pacing guide, if you want to use this with our V5 STEM labs, or you want to use this with our computer science level 1 course, we show that all for you in here. Standards alignment is located in there for you so you can see how this is aligned to both math and computer science standards. The section of the knowledge base that I showed you, more facilitation support. So once again, we do the direct instruction for you, which allows you to be a facilitator. If you want to know how students should work in groups, either with your competition team or in your classroom, this is a great article here that talks about how students can collaborate when they're doing coding together, how they can do pair programming. Fantastic article there. How you can customize your resources, letter home so you can communicate to parents and stakeholders what they're actually doing and how great VEX competitions are. This is also a Google Doc, so if you want to put like your team number on here or your team logo or your classroom information on here, you can go and you can do that. And then finally, if you're looking to do more, check out how you can become a VEX certified educator. You can look at our other certifications, look at our computer science level 1 course. All that information is located there. So as you can see, we've worked really hard these last few weeks to provide you with hopefully everything that you need to get started with this competition season and get started successfully. Once again, whether you're a classroom teacher looking to do authentic real-world computer science applied to a robotics context, or you do competitions in your classroom, after school club or activity with your competition team, wherever those are, we've made this applicable to you, both the lessons that we have at education.vex.com and also the coding that you can do at codev5.vex.com. I can't wait to see what you're going to do with VR Skills. Good luck with this year's competition.
So thank you all so much. I'd just like to conclude that we can all be contacted through the emails that you will see on the screen in just a moment. And this has been a wonderful sharing session for everybody. If you do need any help with events, please contact Jason and Crystal at ap-events@vex.com. If there's any questions about suggestions of what equipment that you might need, how to get started, please contact me at ap-sales. If there's anyone interested in our VEX Academy, please do contact academy@vex.com. The video will be posted in the next couple of days on our VEX Robotics Asia Pacific YouTube website. And you can always follow us on Facebook and Twitter for more information in Asia. It's the new season, so we're really excited to see what we can plan. And we look forward to seeing you at an event in the future. Just wanted to remind those that cover different age groups is that tomorrow we do have an Asia Pacific VEX IQ Challenge new season webinar, and the link to join is in the chat box to register to get the Zoom meeting link. I'd like to say thank you from VEX Robotics and thank you from the events team.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, and speak to everybody very soon. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
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 Bye-bye.